The 70s and 80s are generally considered the glory days of radio in Madison.
Local DJs like Ralph Cohen, Jonathan Little, Pat O'Neill, just to name a few, became household names with their fun antics and their big giveaways.
Madison's wild days of radio are featured in this month's issue of Madison Magazine. The article written by columnist Doug Moe and the legend of Z104 himself, Ralph Cohen, also here.
This is quite an honor.
You work for us now.
Ralph works for us.
Oh, that's
now.
right.
Doug, congratulations on your Best of Madison. 2 category winners.
Yeah, just quickly, remember Mayor Daley in Chicago and his Get Out the Vote efforts? My wife's Get Out the Vote efforts. Yeah, put Daley to shame, so it's all on her. Yeah.
So this article a lot of fun. It must have been fun to write.
It was fun to write. I've told a couple people that it made me wish I had gone into radio back then, you know, and it actually started in the 60s. As I'm researching, I found an incredible story out of the Arboretum, where WISM had buried $1,000 somewhere in the city and given clues, and pretty quickly it became apparent it was the Arboretum. And of course, what happened was an all-out assault on the Arboretum. They tore it apart.
Shovels.
It was just, yeah, and there was
You're
a headline in the
off houses.
Yes, a headline in the paper saying, you know, arrests threatened for treasure hunters. So, welcome to radio.
So WISM was really that was the big dog in town. You were at Z104, Ralph.
Yes, I arrived there in '79, and the man who had created WISM in the '60s and '70s, Jonathan Little, he came over to Z104 and we exploded.
As it did FM radio in general at that point in time.
Yeah, there was a transition. The AM radio stations were getting out of the music business because it was tough for them to compete with the sound, the stereo of FM.
What was it like to give away a house?
Well, I remember
Speaking of crazy giveaways.
Well, it was a massive product. It started with Jonathan's idea, and then it was up to me to I was a promotion director as well, to kind of put this thing together. And we had connections with some of our staff, so we were able to get Governor Tommy Thompson to help officiate. He was even wearing a Z104 shirt, as we awarded at the time, I believe, a $140,000 home, which today would be about $500,000. And this is 1989.
The woman who bought the house, then you DJ'd her wedding,
yes,
right?
After she got emotionally stabilized for winning, because we had all the winners there. She's crying and everything, and a year later, I played the music for her wedding.
That's incredible. Well, those were the days.
It was fun.
Do you ever realize, how are we getting away with this?
Well, there were times when we almost didn't get away with stuff that we did, but we didn't get quite as violent as they did in the Arboretum, digging up ground and whatnot. But I had an incident.
Well, Ralph tried to pass a phony $5 bill.
$500 bill.
That was
Yes.
500, yeah.
I had a visit, a casual visit from the Secret Service. After we had done a promotion and taken a photo of an actual $500 bill, which are, even today, you don't go down to the Quick Trip and put one of those in the, they generally frown upon that. And we had put it in a publication, almost a full-size color photo.
You can't do that.
No, and the Secret Service, they came to the station and they said, I remember the receptionist said, "Oh, Ralph, the Secret Service is here to see you." I thought it was a gag or something. That was the Department of the Treasury, and he said, "Did you do this?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't do it again."
We're looking at some pictures from the magazine. There's some familiar faces, Doug.
These pictures are fantastic. All the people you grew
Pat
up
O'Neill
listening
on
to.
the upper right there. I interviewed Pat at some length for the piece, and he talked about when Magic 98, when the bear died, Chief was when a mentally disturbed guy went into his caged area, and Pat launched a campaign to raise $9,800, Magic 98, right, to get another bear. Well, they raised enough to get 2. Wow. Pat shaved his head. That was part of the deal. And he went on the plane to Anchorage. And Magic broadcast live from the airport when they landed. And it was just a different time.
Those were I mean, what changed?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, the easy answer, which is not totally complete, Ralph can probably speak to this as well, was the Telecommunications Act in the 90s, which allowed you know, big conglomerates to buy almost as many stations as they wanted. And they weren't interested so much in local content. You know, they wanted to avoid controversy, and that's what happened.
So the soul was sort of taken out of.
The fun was taken out of it, but that's my biased opinion, of course. And that's why I came to work for you guys. Because you have more fun here. Where's the fun? Oh, it's over at ISC. Let's go there.
What are we going to give away next?
That's a good question, but we'll have to come up with something fun.
All right. Thank you.
It's a fantastic article. Don't miss it. It's in the Best of Madison edition of Madison Magazine.
Gentlemen,
It's on
thank you.
stands now.
Thank you.
It's great.
An honor.
A pleasure. A final check of your forecast coming up.